IPL's El Classico, what a match, right?
Oh, absolutely a classic.
Welcome to the Cricket PPT.
Good to be here.
And we are diving straight in, no messing around today, folks, to the Chennai Super Kings victory over the Mumbai Indians, that IPL 2025 clash at Chepauk.
Yeah, always a big one.
Always a big one. And you guys wanted to know exactly what went down, the key moments and takeaways from this massive match, especially so early in the season.
Yeah, great way to kick things off for sure.
So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to unpack all that.
Right.
We've got a full match overview here. First innings, second innings, lots to talk about.
The whole shebang. But we're going deeper than just a recap,
I
right?
like to pull out the important stuff.
The why, the how, all of that. So what really stood out to me right away, just how clinical CSK were in taking down MI on their home turf.
Yeah, real statement win.
A statement win, that's what they're calling it, laying down an early marker for CSK in IPL 2025. What do you think about that? Oh, I think it's spot on. I mean, to beat your biggest rival, game one, that sends a message, loud and clear.
For sure.
To the whole league. Plus, on a surface that did aid spin, finally, so CSK really knew how to use that to their advantage, right?
Yeah, the spin-friendly surface, that was huge. And speaking of advantages, the impact from the new guy, Noor Ahmad, incredible with the ball.
Yeah, he was brilliant. Always love to see a fresh face making some noise.
Absolutely. And then to top it off, those contrasting half-centuries, Ruturaj, Gaikwad, and Ravindra, I mean, talk about leading your team to victory.
Yeah, four-wicket win, two totally different approaches, both so effective.
Love to see it. And, we can't ignore the history here either. This loss, it means MI, get this, they've now lost 13 opening games in a row in the IPL.
13, wow.
That's wild. What do you think's going on there?
I don't know, maybe some early season jitters, psychological thing, who knows? But yeah, that's a stat, definitely something CSK would have had in mind.
Oh, for sure. Okay, let's break down this match, shall we?
Let's do it.
Starting with that first innings, CSK's bowling attack, we saw a familiar face back in yellow.
Ah, yes. Our Ashwin isn't necessarily a new boy in CSK colors, but it's been a decade since he played for them.
10 years, that's a long time. And he came back strong, right? That impact in the power play.
Immediate. That carom ball that Will Jacks missed time to get caught by Shivam Dubé, just classic Ashwin.
Oh, textbook.
Yeah.
But even before that, Khalil Ahmed, he was on fire with that new ball.
Yeah, big wickets early on, crucial after CSK decided to bowl first. I mean, getting Rohit Sharma for a duck after the former MI skipper hit one straight to mid-wicket, that's massive.
Absolutely. Huge blow for MI right off the bat,
Yeah.
especially a guy like Rohit.
And then you had Ryan Rickleton on debut for MI, showed some promise early, a couple of delightful strokes off Sam Curran.
Looking good, but then
His adventurous start was cut short by Khalil as the left-hander under-edged one that shattered his stumps.
tough break for the debutant.
Welcome to the IPL, right? Gotta be careful early on, especially if that pitch is doing a bit.
Yeah, for sure. And then you had Tilak Varma, came in, injected some energy, a couple of high-risk shots off his first two deliveries to pick up boundaries.
Love that. Not backing down, taking the attack to CSK.
And to wrap up the power play, Surya doing Surya things. Rounded off the power play with a typical whip that sailed over the fence.
Yeah.
So, MI, they hung in there despite CSK's strong start.
Yeah, for sure. But let's get into those middle overs. Everyone was talking about that Chepauk pitch before the season started.
Right. The narrative around CSK's preseason was always centered around the surface at Chepauk. Having not gotten the desired pitches in recent times, CSK hoped for a friendlier surface this time.
And it delivered. It still had enough to cause problems for the batting side. How much do you think that talk about the pitch affected the team's strategies coming into the game?
Oh, I think it had to. CSK, they probably planned their bowling attack around it. And MI, well, they had to be more cautious against the spinners. But even then, Tilak Varma, not afraid to go after them. Ravindra Jadeja for a couple of sixes.
Yeah, good intent from Tilak. But then it was the Noor show in the middle phase, which completely changed the game in CSK's favor after the halfway mark.
It's funny how they call it the Noor show. Like it was planned.
It really was his show. And remember, MI were decently placed at 82 for 3 after 10 overs before Noor came on.
Yeah, they were cruising. What do you think made him so effective right then?
Conditions were perfect for him, plus his variations, the control. He just shut down the MI batsmen. And of course, that first big wicket, Surya Kumar Yadav, who was stumped lightning quick by 43-year-old MS Dhoni. I mean, you can't teach that kind of experience.
Dhoni, like a fine wine. Still got it.
Absolutely. Game changer, that stumping. And then in his next over, boom, 2 more. Robin Mines and Tilak failed to read the googly. 2 set batsmen, gone. Just like that. Huge momentum swing. MI were suddenly 110 for 6.
Yeah, rough. And as the report says, they really needed something special from their lower order to post a competitive total. Things were looking bleak for MI at that point, especially with Nathan Ellis having 3 overs up his sleeve.
Absolutely. To make matters worse for MI, Noor returned for his final over and bowled Namandir around his legs. Just brilliant bowling.
He really did a number on them. But credit where credit's due. Those former CSK players, Santner and Chahar, they stepped up for MI.
Left to drag their new franchise to a respectable total, interesting to watch former players go up against their old teams, eh?
Always is. Santner got trapped teamally against Ellis. But Chepauk Chahar, oh man, some late fireworks there. Hammered 2 6s and 2 4s in the final 2 overs to push MI beyond 150 and give them something to fight for.
Those late runs, sometimes they make all the difference.
All right, so MI finishes in the mid-150s. Second innings, let's see how CSK approaches this chase. And they threw a bit of a curveball with their opening pair, right?
They did, sprung a surprise by sending Rahul Tripathi to open alongside Rachin. But, yeah, didn't really work out for Tripathi in the end.
No, Chahar gave MI the early breakthrough with a short ball that Tripathi gloved behind to the keeper, so Gaikwad came in earlier than expected.
Gotta love an early wicket. But Gaikwad, he didn't hang about. Took very little time to get going, though, as he hit Brent Bolt for a couple of boundaries before taking on Chahar for a massive 6 over deep mid-wicket.
Yeah, he was in the mood.
Aggressive from the get-go.
And he just kept going. Raju came into the attack, bam, a couple of 4s. Even when they tried to slow things down with Santner, nope. Took on the left-arm spinner for a 6 and a couple of 4s to race to 42 off just 19 deliveries.
That's just ridiculous. And then the shot of the match. In the first over after the power play when Gaikwad effortlessly lofted one over extra cover for his third 6 before reaching his 50 off just 22 balls, his fastest in IPL.
What a knock.
Amazing. But just when it looked like CSK were going to run away with it, entered the debutant.
Right. It needed a debutant to stop Gaikwad's carnage, as Vinesh Puthur made an impact immediately after coming into the attack, as the CSK skipper mistimed one to get caught near the boundary.
Massive breakthrough for MI. Gave them a sniff, and the game slowly sprung back to life. Shivam Dubey, trying to keep the momentum going, hit jacks over deep mid-wicket for a 6, but then...
Out. Next over. Mistimed Puthur in the very next over to get caught near the boundary. Puthur having quite the debut. What does that tell you about the pressure in these big games?
Oh, it's immense. Even the best players crack under pressure, and this kid was bowling well.
Yeah, the report even says the debutant had a field day as he struck again in his third over. Despite getting hit for a 6 by Ravindra earlier in the over, the left-arm spinner managed to prize out Deepak Huda to cause some flutter in the CSK camp. It was getting tense.
MI really started to squeeze things, bowling their spinners to apply the squeeze, and it worked. Sam Curran, as he failed in his attempt to break free and got castled by jacks.
Things were getting tight. CSK now needed 37 from the final 5 overs, with 5 wickets in hand. Nail-biter.
For sure. But then they brought the pace back and boom! Jadeja did find that boundary immediately when pace was back on with Bolt returning. Needed that, release the pressure a bit.
Absolutely. And then Rachin Ravindra pretty much shut MI's faint hopes with 2 clinical 6s off Puthur in the 18th over to also bring up a vital half-century. Talk about clutch.
And think about this, they said, with a lot of debate around that overseas opening slot, Rachin did his chances no harm with a measured 50. Big performance, especially with all those questions around the team selection.
Yeah, he silenced a few critics for sure. And even though Jadeja's run out in the penultimate over brought Dhoni in, it felt like CSK had it in the bag by then.
Yeah, they did. Rachin hammered another 6 to seal the deal with 5 balls left, just what they needed.
So CSK, dominant bowling, Noor Ahmad, outstanding, Gaikwad and Ravindra both with crucial 50s, a real team effort.
A statement win, for sure. A message to the rest of the league.
And what about those debutantes, eh? Exciting to see what they do for the rest of the season. All right, folks, that's a wrap for us. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, leave a comment, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more great cricket content. We'll see you next time. Cheers!